Okay, you're still watching Morning Rush on Metro Television. As we promised earlier on, we're talking about medical negligence, and it's been on the rampant, and there's something amazing that will be happening in some clinics, some hospitals, but then we'll be having a conversation with two guests in the studio. Allow them to introduce themselves, but it always say that ladies first. So I'll let the lady go first. Kindly introduce yourself.
Michelle Ifa, and I'm the Assistant Legal Resource Coordinator for ECAM Law Consult.
Okay.
Yeah, Christian Lebridge, Mam Hesse, Senior Associate, ECAM Legal.
Okay, so this morning we are looking at what medical negligence is. So Michelle will start by explaining that to us, and then we'll move to the law aspects. Then we'll come inside.
Okay, so when we talk about when we talk about negligence, first of all, negligence is the breach of a duty owed. So it's a breach of a duty owed by a person. So it's a situation where an individual owes a duty of care to somebody, but the person fails to live up to that expectation.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay. So is there a difference between medical malpractice and medical negligence?
Yes, I mean, one deals with intention and the other deals with unintentional errors.
Okay.
So malpractice deals with, it's more focused on intentional wrong, and that also delves into criminality.
Okay.
And unintentional harm deals with medical negligence. So that's basically the differences between the two.
But what you were saying something else?
Oh no, you come in.
Okay.
Basically, so medical negligence, just as she said, it is where one acts below the standard expected of that particular person. So failing to do something, that's commissioned to do something which a reasonable man will not do, or the omission to do something which a reasonable man will do. And with medical negligence, it comes under the area of law called law of tort. And law of tort is broadly under civil law. Now, so dealing with tort or tortious matters, it basically deals with wrong occasion on one.
Okay.
And the compensation regime or the remedy that one gets are damages. And damages are in monetary form. And it is to restore the victim to the state which he or she was at the time, even though there cannot be physical recompensation, but it deals with monetary value.
Okay, so these are what the law says.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And what are certain acts that abides by all these things?
So, I mean, with medical negligence or the health aspect, we have a number of laws that deals with it, from World Health Organization, the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, and all of that. And aside that, and all of these things speak to the conservation of the rights of the sick. You also come to Ghana, our local laws. We have various legislations that deal with some of these things. You have the Traditional Medicines Act, you have the Ghana
Act,
Health.
Mental Health Act,
Okay.
Ghana Health Service Act, and all of that. Also
Okay.
like the 1992 Constitution.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So what can hospitals do to safeguard themselves from all these problems, from all these medical negligence?
So, I mean, basically, hospitals need to adhere to standards required of them. And some of these standards sometimes are oblivious of themselves.
Okay.
The reason why the Mam Hesse medical negligence is, it's all about these hospitals, is basically to run pro bono seminars for them. 11 hospitals. We're done with about two. We go in this Friday, would take on the third one, that's Crown Medical. So it is to hold medical seminars for them, basically medical legal seminar. And it covers everything about medical negligence, what they need to know, issues that deals with informed consent, and also to review their internal medical legal protocols. That's the most important part of this whole project.
Okay, so that's your project.
Yes.
That you are doing. How long is it running?
It's a 5 months. It's a 5 month long project, and every month we do 2 hospitals, and just about January we're doing 3. So that adds up to 11.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this?
Also, we started this just last month.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the first ever.
Yeah, the first ever.
Okay.
We started it last month because too many at times, yes, lawyers like myself, we prosecute these hospitals and then medical or health practitioners in court. We levy heavy damages against them. But I feel that it was time for us to get into the trenches, that's the hospitals, where all of these negligent issues come up, so that they are given first-hand legal education, you know, to put them on the beat and let them know what the law says about all of these things. Because sometimes you go to a hospital and you have a patient running up asking the doctor a lot of questions, and the doctor will tell the patient, why are you asking me so many questions? It is for your place to just tell me what's wrong with you, not to talk so much. But unknown to the doctor, the patient has every right to know what is wrong with him or her, and also to tell you alternatives if that will properly suit him. And more so, the doctor also owes a duty to disclose the level of risk in respect of any intervention that would be occasioned to the patient. So in situations, you need to let the patient know the nature of intervention that you are going to. You need to let the patient know the risk and benefits of that procedure or intervention that you're going to carry out. Aside that, you also need to explain the alternative intervention, benefits and risk associated with it. If you fail to do that and the patient gets harmed or injured, the doctor will be held liable, and the hospital would also be vicariously or secondarily held liable. And this is seen in various cases, including Chester and Afsha. It's a Wales law report sometime in 2004, you know. And the doctor failed to disclose the degree of risk, which was 1%. He felt that to the patient, and felt that, oh, the probability of this particular patient falling within that level of risk is so minimal. And it happened that the patient fell within that. And the doctor and the hospital were held liable. And there are so many of these things. And even with these our local hospitals, Rage and 37 have been subject of heavy medical negligence cases and damages.
Okay, I was coming to that, and I'll ask Michelle, over the course of this project, when you interact with people, especially the doctors and the nurses, are they aware? Is it something that they know that it's part of the medical procedure that they have to know and have to protect the patients, or give them other suggestions that can help them? Do you encounter that?
Yeah, so you realize that the medical practitioners, so doctors, nurses, paramedics, pharmacists, I mean, all of these health professionals are very much aware of the importance of educating the patients on the various risks, benefits and alternatives of a medical situation. However, most of the time, you know, they don't actually do what is expected of them. They don't actually educate or give the patients the information they need to before they carry out a medical procedure. And there are so many reasons for which they may either forget or they may not want to even disclose such information. But at the end, it goes back to hurt them, because should the patients get injured, they would be liable.
Live forever with the situation.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and interesting to add that, you know, the Ghana Health Service conducted a survey, and majority of the percentages that came out, over 60-something% of patients at Komfo Anokye did not know the kind of intervention that the doctors were taking them through. And that alone exposes the hospital to medical negligence and damages, because you cannot carry intervention on a patient and the patient would not know the kind of condition or the intervention or the risk benefits or alternative benefits or risks associated with the kind of intervention that you're doing. It matters not the depth or level of knowledge that you have acquired, but once you are carrying out medical procedure, in as much as it is in as much as it falls within the periscope of medicine, it works hand in hand with law, and that is what our medical practitioners need to know.
But this will be a final on that field, and we'll just touch a bit on the project. Over the course of your career, how many cases has been on your decks with regards to medical negligence?
Not too many,
Okay.
and because generally by the UN, about 6% of medical negligence cases end up at the courts.
Okay.
So you have majority of persons who would be averse,
Yeah.
and most of the time who would hold back. I've had situations where a medical doctor lost the sister who is a nurse. I'm not mentioning her name, and at the end of the day, went through medical and dental council, and then the doctor, hospital were found to be negligent, because at medical and dental council they have all the speciality, the specialists there,
Yeah.
to deal with it. Because sometimes getting a specialist or an expert witness to come to court to testify is sometimes
It's a
expensive,
problem, yeah.
or sometimes they even avoid doing that to their own colleagues. So
Okay.
sometimes we waste between the situations, whether as a lawyer you'd want to go straight to court or go through the medical and dental council,
okay.
so that when you get the decision from there, it's easy for you to execute it, or to go to court and have that decision enforced.
Okay.
And then when we got to the final stage, the doctor was like, oh, let's leave it to God. And I'm like, after going through all this situation,
Then you leave it to God.
that's it.
Finally, which hospital are you going next, or which clinic?
So the next hospital is Crown Medical Center
Okay.
at
okay.
Amrahia.
Okay. Just Adenta.
Yeah, so we're done with Ridge Hospital, and then we're done with Jordan Medical. So Crown Medical will follow, and then there is 37.
Obo Medical Center, Police Hospital, Leicester Hospital, Accra Medical Center.
Okay. And when the patients are there and they are doing this whole conversation, can they join?
Yes, I mean, it's free to all.
Okay.
It's a pro bono initiative. It's free to all. I mean, hitherto, the hospitals will be paying so much for this legal seminars.
Yeah.
But at certain point in time, you must give back to society and let society find value and solution to some of the things that we do. And law must sometimes cause change, not necessarily about money, but the value placement is very important.
Okay. Michelle, any last words?
Yeah, so I would add that, as Laya Hesse mentioned, hospitals are, this whole project is to review, very, very important, review the internal policies of the various hospitals, because as time goes, like the policies that were used last year, that were used even yesterday, may be different from what is being used today. So hospitals must see to it that their policies are reviewed very regularly to protect themselves from cases of medical negligence.
Okay, thank you very much, Michelle, and also Lawyer Christian. I think maybe some other time will come, and if we have more time, we'll talk deeper into this whole conversation. Thank you very much for having us from 5:30 through to 7:30. My name is Sanaya Tanobwache. I did this with Desmond Okwekudan, so tomorrow we'll be back again the same time. Good, kudos to the production team. Enjoy the rest of our programs.